Hi there, these comments are for GB, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-Step System to Pass a TOEFL IBT, and happy Halloween to you. And I am a steampunk gentleman, as you can probably see from my costume here. See that? Alright, so you completed independent writing practice test number 16, and you're paying me to do an error correction video of this writing. So we're trying to figure out what you need to do to score higher on this. So I read the essay. My teaching assistant gave you 3.0 out of 5 or 20 points out of 30. I was wondering whether or not I would give you a higher score than that, but after reading it, I'm probably going to stay in a similar range. So there's quite a few language use issues going on, and even some organizational things that you can probably improve in order to score higher. So what I want to do is I'm going to show you what changes you need to make in order to get a score of 5.5 out of 5 or 30 points out of 30. This is not easy. It takes a lot of concentration on my part to do this, but I will start one paragraph at a time, right? So you say education, and I'm going to combine these two sentences, give you a little bit more advanced grammar there. Often determines education, a significant part of our lives, often determines our success. Now we need to develop this a little bit more. After students finish their high school studies, they will need to choose a university which we'll probably say this, universities. So what I'm doing, I'm expanding out. I think your introduction needs to be a little bit more than what you did. So to meet their academic goals, students will attend large or small universities. If you say each choice, you want to say it. All right, let's see where we're at right now. As long as we're close to about 100 words. How we're getting there, so let's look at it one more time here. So education, a significant part of our lives, often determines our success. After students finish their high school studies, they will need to choose university, which represents their specific needs, such as the major they want to pursue. To meet their academic goals, students will attend large or small universities. Because each choice has its advantages, students will attend large or small universities so they can get the opportunities they will need to have a successful working career. If you want to, you can say, personally, I prefer larger schools since they... I think that's what you're saying in your final paragraph, right? So what do we do here is we have the thesis, which does... The thesis talks about the advantages of both, right? And then it talks about what your preference is. I think that's pretty good there. So where are we at right now? It's pretty close to 100 there. Okay, let's move on to your next paragraphs. You say students that choose a big university believe that they're going to have the best teachers, best environments to study, and also you might say because these universities are well known, you want to keep it parallel here, so I'm going to say the best chances. So have the best teachers, best environments to study, the best chances for high paying jobs. Let's put a hyphen in here, right here. Large universities accumulate a lot of tuition that helps them invest this money in attracting good teachers and also to keep proper maintenance of their laboratories, computer classes, the library, and other environments that students need to use during their studies. Moreover, because of the significant size, these universities are well known, which promises good jobs. Okay, but the problem is there's just too many different things going on here. I mean, you have a lot of good ideas, but it's just too much. Right? So what we want to do is let's just try to limit what we're trying to focus on in a certain paragraph. You're trying to take on too many ideas here. Okay, let's say that we focus on the well-known idea. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, let's just say that for the sake of this paragraph, you said students that choose a big university believe that these larger schools will have better known reputations than that of smaller schools. Maybe I should say those, which means reputations, right? Now what I'm going to do here is I will only focus on this one idea. So to have a topic sentence focus in 3 different areas, that's almost like a thesis statement. You're trying to do too much in that paragraph, and the writer who tries to focus in all those different areas ends up focusing on nothing. So you need to show some depth and progression of thought to your ideas. This particular paragraph here, I'm now focusing only on this one idea. So I'm changing the depth and the focus of your paragraph. So it says first, students that choose a big university believe that these larger schools will have better known reputations than those of smaller schools. For example, years ago my cousin Scott decided that he wanted to major in civil engineering, so he finally decided to attend the University of Texas Austin, which has a student body enrollment of 31,000 students. In addition, the university has a high-quality, well-known engineering school, so Scott was delighted to pursue his studies there. After completing his 4-year studies, Scott applied to several graduate engineering programs in different parts of the United States, and he found that the programs to which he applied were very familiar with UTA. So Scott was able to get admitted into a top engineering graduate school due to UTA's well-known reputation. Had Scott attended a smaller school with a lesser reputation, he might not have been able to continue his graduate studies at a reputable school. Okay, so what I did here is I'm only focusing around this idea of reputations. That was the whole purpose of this example here. Okay, now let's take a look at our next paragraph here. Okay, let's take a look at this paragraph. So second, because of the attention they get from teachers and a close relationship they may create with other students, you may say other students prefer to attend smaller universities during, you might want to say during their studies at small schools. Teachers have a chance to communicate more closely and pay attention more to the students' needs, which will satisfy the academic preparation of students. But see, you're bringing up, you're still trying to bring up all these different ideas here. So let's just focus on the attention they can get from teachers. Then what we have to do now is to give an example of a smaller school that illustrates this idea. Let's take a look at your next paragraph here. And what I did here is we're just focusing on the attention that students can get from teachers at smaller schools, right? Okay, second, because of the attention they get from teachers, other students prefer to attend small universities. During their studies at small schools, teachers have the chance to communicate more closely and pay attention more to the students' needs, which will satisfy the academic preparation of students. For example, the University of Redlands, whose student enrollment let's go back. So whose student enrollment is fewer than 5,000 students, offers more than 50 academic majors. A student who majors in math will find that most of the classes consist of 10 to 15 students, so the professors can pay close attention to their students as they teach the most important concepts. Since the class sizes are small, students can often ask questions during class, and the professors can spend more time reviewing the material. This type of small university environment will make it easier for some students to learn what is being taught. Conversely, students at larger schools will not be able to get this type of individual attention. And that is 150 words, believe it or not, just focusing around the individual attention. Notice the use of a specific school, University of Redlands, and I even talked about what the enrollment is at that specific school. So there's a lot of telling detail within that paragraph. Okay, let's go to your final paragraph. This is when you get into your opinion. Let's see what we have. Okay, let's take a look at this final paragraph here. So the problem here is significant. This is where you're running into trouble, but the significant doesn't necessarily mean large, right? So large universities are better for the school environments that they offer during and after school. I prefer large areas where I can enjoy the space and the big crowds of students that will make my student life remarkable and full of life. Moreover, okay, let's so larger institutions organize larger institutions organize, let's do this, let's give you a hyphen here. So after school organize more after-school activities where students can enjoy their free time, for instance. And this is good. In this paragraph, this is your best paragraph in my opinion because you named a university, right? This is where you're getting into some really concrete detail. For instance, during my studies at Tirana University, one of the prominent universities that my country has, I enjoyed the considerable what if you said multi-level, maybe, which means big. I enjoyed the multi-level library that the college has and the large cafeteria where I spent a lot of time. Also, I had the chance to participate in many concerts and shows that made my student life, I'm going to say here, enjoyable. I think the adjective is going to work better here as opposed to the adverb. So, but this is, notice how I didn't make a lot of changes to this paragraph. This is the best one that you had. Think about it. It's 100 words. You use a very specific example in the middle of the paragraph about Tirana University, and that ties back to the environment that you prefer at the larger schools. So overall, this was your best paragraph, right? So I made some changes in the other paragraphs, right? All right, let's take a look at your first paragraph one more time. So education, a significant part of our lives, often determines our success. After students finish their high school studies, they will need to choose a university which represents their specific needs, such as a major they want to pursue. To meet, maybe, these academic goals, students will attend larger, small universities because each choice has its advantages. Students will attend larger, small universities so they can get the opportunities they will need to have a successful work and career. Personally, I prefer larger schools since they offer a better studying and teaching environment. Okay, so then we have our first. So first, students that choose a big university believe that these larger schools will have better known reputations than those of smaller schools. For example, years ago, my cousin Scott decided that he wanted to major in civil engineering, so he finally decided to attend the University of Texas, Austin, which has a student body enrollment of 31,000 students. In addition, this university has a high-quality, well-known engineering school, so Scott was delighted to pursue his studies there. After completing his 4-year studies, Scott applied to several graduate engineering programs in different parts of the United States, and he found that the programs to which he applied were very familiar with UTA, so Scott was able to get admitted into a top engineering graduate school due to UTA's well-known reputation. Had Scott attended a smaller school with a lesser reputation, he might not have been able to continue his graduate studies at a reputable school. Okay, so now we move to the opposite idea. Second, because of the attention they get from teachers, other students prefer to attend small universities. During their studies at small schools, teachers have the chance to communicate more closely and pay attention more to the students' needs, which will satisfy the academic preparation of students. For example, the University of Redlands, whose student enrollment is fewer than 5,000 students, offers more than 50 academic majors. A student who majors in math will find that most of the classes consist of 10 to 15 students, so the professors can pay close attention to their students as they teach the most important concepts. Since the class sizes are small, students can often ask questions during class, and the professors can spend more time reviewing the material. This type of small university environment will make it easier for some students to learn what is being taught. Conversely, students at larger schools will not be able to get this type of individual attention. Lastly, larger universities are better for the good environment. So maybe we'll say here, in my opinion, so we're kind of separating the tone here. Large universities are better for the good environments that they offer during and after school. I prefer large areas where I can enjoy the space and the big crowds of students that will make my life remarkable and full of life. Moreover, larger institutions organize more after-school activities where students can enjoy their free time. For instance, during my studies at Tirana University, one of the prominent universities that my country has, I enjoyed the multi-level library that the college has and the large cafeteria where I spent a lot of time. Also, I had the chance to participate in many concerts and shows that made my student life enjoyable. And there we go, that's it. So I think overall, I think your final paragraph is a very good example for you. I know you can do this. So your other two paragraphs weren't as specifically focused as the final one, but that is the model that you want to follow. So make sure your paragraphs are very, very developed by focusing only on maybe one or two key points in each paragraph. It's better just focus in one area, to be honest, right? Overall, you didn't have a lot of serious language use issues, so for the most part, you had pretty good control of that, and you had a good organization, I think responded to the writing task. But go back to language use. I did have to make some corrections there, so I think I'm mistaken on that. You did have some minor issues with language use. So now we have the essay rewritten, so it gets 5 out of 5 or 30 points out of 30. All right, so thank you for completing this independent writing practice test. Okay, looking at the grammar part of my course, keep focusing in there. I think I did a diagnostic earlier of one of your writings, so keep focusing on these grammar lessons, and this time take a look at sentences with appositives. Make sure you understand that. I think that would be a good one. Lesson 12, word forms, I think is a good one. Word choice, lesson number 13. I think that's a good lesson for you to look at right now. Maybe when to use commas, that's probably a good one. Sentence variety, lesson number 26 and also 28, when to use commas. And what else here? I think that's pretty good. Now, for the writing part of it, I think overall you're doing better with this, but let me take a look at writing the perfect paragraph. I think that's also something that you can revisit, I think, after watching this video. So where is it? Writing lesson 5.6. So writing the perfect paragraph, I think would be a good one too. And And just the main thing when you're creating topic sentences, keep them focused and try to focus on in one specific area within each paragraph, and then it's more likely that you can have what's called the depth and the complexity of thought that you need in your writing.